Hi guys, it's Kimberly. Welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's well. Thanks to the new subscribers. Thank you guys for joining. If you're not familiar with me, I am a soul coach and intuitive advisor guiding twin flames and those along the ascension journey. And I am actually on the anniversary. You guys can scroll all the way back to the beginning if you want. But I am actually, this is the exact, today or tomorrow is like the exact 3-year anniversary on YouTube. So thank you guys for all the support. I am really excited about this new moon, as you know, but I wasn't planning on posting another video right now. I thought, okay, I'll post up the new moon forecast. We'll leave it at that. That'll be the energy update for, going into next week. But today I just really have been receiving so many confirmations that there's several messages that need to come through. I don't know if you're hearing them from other readers because I don't really watch other readers, but I'm definitely getting hold of this. So I don't think it'll be for all of you, but I think it'll be for a group of you, okay? So I feel like the feminine is having this awareness of the masculine right now. And it's more intense than just, oh, I can feel him or I can feel the masculine's presence. It's kind of like you're very intuitively and synchronistically like picking up on your divine masculine. And it's because the masculine is coming into these consciousness shifts and into more awareness. A lot of what I'm hearing and what seems to be happening is that the feminine is feeling the masculine sort of looking back at the past and recognizing like where he has, done wrong or been, responsible for some of the things that he maybe wasn't owning up to or taking responsibility for before because his ego was blocking him or whatnot. So there's this awareness of it's like for some people what I'm hearing and what I also know is that it's like a gnawing feeling. It's almost like it won't leave you alone and you can't shake it. So it's like a feeling of, this person is actually thinking of you. It doesn't mean that it's time to reopen the connection. It doesn't mean that it's indicative that the connection is definitely going to reopen in the way that you think it is. But it definitely means that things are being healed from a higher level. So I'm getting that there's like a healing going on. And as the masculine works on himself and realizes these things, there's a realization coming through right now. It's that shift in consciousness. It's that sort of self-realization. It's that sort of self-responsibility that he's taking that the feminine is feeling. Okay. So, you guys know who you are. Some of you already know what I'm talking about because you're picking up on it. So what do I have to say about this? I have to say that for the feminine, it's creating confusion because you might be thinking to the past. We're about to embark on a time where we really want to be thinking about the future. So I feel like we're in the final days of really tweaking and fine-tuning where we've been putting our energy through our thoughts and through our vibration, and be extremely mindful as you feel these pulls energetically. Be extremely mindful of sort of when your mind goes there, because I feel like as the masculine reflects back on the past and kind of does the review and takes the responsibility and sees things differently, the feminine is feeling that and getting kind of caught back into the past. And I had a really strong feeling this morning that I wanted to post something on social media, and I never got to it, but I wanted to post something like that said, the past is in back of you. Like the past is not in front of you. And I think it's almost so subtle that we're not even realizing that we're doing it. So become aware of it, feminine, if you're doing that, or if one of you in the dynamic is doing that. Become aware of it. I mean, this can happen at any time, but I feel like it is happening right now for a whole group of you because of this sort of realization that's happening on the other side, the self-responsibility, this level of consciousness that the masculine's reaching. And so for the feminine, it can feel sad. It can feel like there's a revisit to the past. It's not a purging. It's just it's the timelines sort of shifting. It's a healing on another level. You might even have, and I've talked about this in other videos, where you're going to have sort of a spiritual and emotional reunion with your twin flame before one would happen in the physical. Some of you, there's like a closure coming through, and this word has been in my mind for a long time, not because I feel I need closure. It's not like something that's personally on my mind. It's because, remember that card, if you guys watched my Sunday Ascended Masters Theory series, and there was a card that came up and it did not say closure, and I read it as closure. Do you guys remember that? Ever since then, I keep hearing it come up in my sessions. I keep hearing people talking about that they're feeling the need, that they'd like the closure, or that maybe things feel unfinished, or even the masculine might be wanting closure, or like some sort of like recognizing that it wasn't finished. There's this awareness that it's not finished. So in order for us to move forward into this amazing time that I've been talking about in the month of June and July, because we'll be sparkling in July too, even with the eclipses. I mean, some things will come to light, and there will be shifts and changes, but there will also be a lot of sparkling and crystallization and all of that type of energy. So in order for all of that, we got to look future. And I feel like these next few days before that new moon, this is the time to really tune into where you are hooked into the past somehow, okay? It could be by default. It could be by energy lines. It could be that you don't even realize that you're doing it. It could be because you need to be really honest about your relationship with yourself in this process, meaning, are you denying yourself true feelings? Like sometimes we want to say, okay, well, that's done in the 3D, so, I'm just going to get over it. Or we want to say, well, I know it's not meant to be right now, or, yeah, I trust in divine timing, but really you're needing to just admit the love that's in your heart. And I say this to clients a lot. It's like, you need to admit that you have love in your heart. The reason why you deny yourself is because your linear mind can't consolidate all of this when there's fear inside of you. So it makes it dichotomous for you. It says, well, it's either this or that. It's either this person is here or it's never going to be. And that's not realistic, especially not in twin flame connections. It's never black and white, and it's never going to be definitive unless it's something that you have decided that you definitively want, and then you have free will and can choose that. But when it comes to this connection, it's really about releasing the fear and then allowing things to just play out. But we have a hard time doing that, right? So we sometimes shut down our emotions. So we'll say, we're not even acknowledging that we love the other person. And the reason why, this whole idea about being in the waiting room, that has been coming up a lot as well. So I keep hearing it, like, twin flames, get out of the waiting room. And like, I know you guys have seen that in titles. I think I even have a video like that from way back when. And I talk about what's the difference between waiting and holding space. And there's such a huge difference, because waiting and the word hope implies that you're waiting on something and you're hopeful for something. Okay? Or you hope that something happens, or you're waiting on something happening, right? Think about that. But that is all rooted in fear, even hope. Okay? Because when we're hoping for something specific, that's an expectation. So that's actually an expectation in disguise. So when we just in general say, like, I feel hopeful, that's different. And I feel like what we're really saying is I feel very faith-filled. So when the waiting is really from a place of fear, that's expectation, that's attachment, that's fear. So, but when we are holding space, we are actually in a place of trust. And in a place of trust, we can have faith. That's when you trust the vision, you trust the process, you hold the vision, you trust the process, you trust, you allow. There's a lot of allowance in that. You're allowing things to unfold. You're allowing the timing to be shown to you. You're allowing it to unfold. So it's different than waiting, needing answers, and expectation. It's just an allowance. But we can't be in both states at once. You're always going to be in one or the other, right? And I teach this all the time. I know you guys, a lot of you have heard me say it a million times. You're either going to be in one state or another. It's all over my website. It says you can be in fear or you can be in love, but you can't be in a state of love and trust and a state of fear at the same time. So you either spend your days flip-flopping in between the two, or you learn how to dissolve that fear so that you can sustain that state of love and trust. And nobody is 100% pure. No, we can't be human and be 100% pure. We wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be incarnating if we were 100% pure, able to sustain that 1000% of the time. But it can get to a point where you're in surrender most of the time, and that when you come out of it, you know how to reroute yourself back. You get good at the surrender. And that's through really healing at the root level, really learning how to integrate. And you guys know all those tools I have for you, soul coaching, my programs, everything on my website is dedicated to helping you dissolve the fear within you so that you can come into that alignment. So I feel like those words keep coming through, like twin flames, they get out of the waiting room. But what they're saying is like it's not just that union is on the forefront for many of you. It's like, get out of the waiting room. Like, what are you doing waiting anyhow? There is no such thing as waiting. Really, that's an illusion too on this journey. There is no such thing as waiting. If you're waiting, you're not navigating your ascension. That's not navigating ascension. And that's what this journey is. It's a consciousness journey. So if you're waiting, you are basically feeding into the fear. You're feeding into the old patterns. You're feeding into the old paradigms. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you wrong. It makes you human. But be mindful of it so that you can get to the root of why, you have these fears or need to control or, and then as you get through that, you start to heal and integrate, you'll be able to hold space for someone much more purely. And that's just as simple as it is. I did post something on Instagram. If you guys want to follow on Instagram, it's @spiritualmaterialgirl. And it was a repost from Alex L. And it says, I don't know if you guys can see it. I can and still. So I'm going to read it to you. I can love someone deeply and still keep them at a healthy distance. I can let go and still wish things were different. I can decide where my energy goes and still make space for understanding. I can say yes to myself and still have a lot of work to do. I can fail and still be worthy of trying again. I can remove toxic relationships and still have peace of mind. I can set boundaries and still hold space for others. I can change for the better and still make mistakes as I go. So I love that, especially the one that says, I can love someone deeply and keep them at a distance. And the one that also says, I can set healthy boundaries and still hold space for others. So I feel like that's also relevant for this journey. So when they're saying come out of the waiting room, it's like literally like if you're in the waiting room, there's some hook expectation to the past, to the future. And like I've been telling you, like this month and everything coming up here is all about the unexpected showing up, the better than you expected, the major shifts, the crystallization of the new life. This isn't just like, setting it up. This is like it crystallizing, sparkling, glowing, new landscape, trees sprouting, buildings being erected, like a whole new landscape, sun coming up over the horizon, boom. And we are being very affected, I feel like, by the solar energy right now in terms of the manifestation. So key into that because some of the waves of energy that you're feeling, the ups and downs are related to that, like some of the solar energy, solar storms, things like that. But I also feel like there's something about the sun right now, and I've been getting that message for a while too, since I drew it and channeled it in the Ascended Master series, that it's I don't know what the positioning is. I'm not an astrologer and I don't know what's really going on, but I have downloaded that there's some way that it is feeding us, and it is like right now it's like an optimal sort of manifestation time in a huge way. But we got to let go of any resistance, even the things that are subtle, even the things that are in there that we don't realize that we're hanging on to. Like, become extremely aware of it so you can release it, because we've got to release the past. We can't trip over the past. We can't stumble over it. If we're stumbling over it, it means we're putting the past in front of us. We need to put it behind us. The past is not determining this landscape at all, unless it's just helping you, unless it's just helping provide a contrast for your desires, right? So it could be, I didn't like that in the past and I really want this in the future. Then that's different. That's a positive influence. But when we're dwelling on the past, and I don't get, it's like a really conscious dwelling. I really don't. I feel like it's very subtle. I feel like it's very like energetic, that we're kind of getting like kind of stuck. Like there's a stuckness, and you have the ability to release yourself over the next few days. 100%. I can tell you, if you're in this, just focus your mind on just releasing it. Start to look towards the future. And in a few days, you'll be able to really open up that picture. Think about, if you want to neutralize that space that you're in, think about a landscape. So notice that you're in that past thinking, and then think about a sparkly crystal lake and this sun rising and this beautiful skyline and beautiful horizon, and think about that and have that be like your neutral picture. And then kind of look out beyond that, and then look to what you want to create and bring into that picture. Okay. But like, I feel like we need neutralizers right now in terms of like little mind tricks to help us kind of neutralize and then look future, so that we catch ourselves when we're kind of subtly getting, it's almost like we're doing like a little dance with the past and the past thoughts and the past regrets. And it's both masculine and feminine. But with the masculine, it's different, because like he needs to be with himself right now to have this awakening. He needs to have these realizations. It's not like he'll emerge in time being able to set up the future. This is different because a lot of the feminine already know the things that he's realizing. And they've actually wanted him or wanted the masculine to realize these things for a while. And so now they're glimmering through for the masculine, and it's pulling like the feminine kind of back into that. So feminine, come forward. Okay. Just, it's kind of like those channelings that I've been doing in the past 3 videos. Like I said, like the masculine's underwater, he's got a scuba mask on, let him go. Just give him time to explore under there. Like, just let him just go explore. Okay. Let him be with himself for a bit, and come forward, feminine, and look at what you want to create. This is a huge time. And it's not that the masculine isn't creating too, but he's getting the epiphanies and the awareness, the realizations that are going to spawn or kind of project him into action. I don't know if I'm even using the right words, but it's going to kind of like be the igniter for him to go into action in a few months. Okay. But not right now. Not right now. He may though get nostalgic, and he may reach out to the feminine. And so just know that it may not be time, even if you have a chance for a check-in or some sort of a contact or connection. So don't let it throw you, because I feel like some of you might interpret it like, oh, now I know what's really happening in the 3D, or look at the 3D, and or what now, what, or like, hey, reattach with expectation, or I feel disappointed. And I feel like just let that go and go into the higher realms. I have to say, I did my own meditations last night, which I seldom do. The cord cutting and the 5D meditation tool. I did fall asleep. I fell asleep to my own voice, and I was like super tired. It was late, but I did fall asleep during the twin flame meditation. But I have to say, like it it was good for me. Like I've been hearing it's good for all of you guys. I hope that it's been helpful for you. I've been hearing positive feedback. If anybody wants that, they're for purchase on my website, $11.11. You get a 2-pack of meditations. It's a cord cutting, which is simple. Anyone you want to clear energy with, whether it's a twin flame or anyone else, it gives you a way of doing it so that you leave the purity of the connection intact. And then there's a separate meditation that is specifically a twin flame connection tool, and one that I feel like is not out there already. So anyhow, I thought you guys would laugh about that I fell asleep to my own meditation. All right, so we're going to pull some cards to get confirmation on these messages. I am not using tarot. I'm going to use the Ascension deck, the Wisdom of the Oracle deck, and Christina Georgieva's Lil Wanderer, these little galaxy cards. So let me just shuffle a little bit and let's see how they reinforce these messages for us. I can tell you also what symbolism I've been getting, because I know a lot of you love when I talk about the animal symbolism. So the past 2 days I've been seeing blue butterflies. I feel like it's representative of the masculine, and I've been seeing it so much that I have about like 5 or 6 screenshots on my phone that show blue, not like green, not yellow, not monarch, not, like they're almost like illustrations of blue butterflies. They were just coming up into my awareness everywhere over the past few days. So that's interesting. I've also been seeing tigers, which could be a personal thing for me. I don't know. I did channel that the tigers were coming in for us a few weeks ago in the Ascended Master series. Could be that you guys are noticing the tigers too. I feel like this is about strength. I feel like it's about fortitude. I feel like it's also being like really like keeping our eye on the prize, like what we want, like looking to the future, not looking past, not looking back. And let's see, what else? Symbolism. Tons of synchronicities, you guys. You're getting there too. Don't forget to try automatic writing. That's another 5D connection tool. I've got my skills fine-tuned to the point where I can have like 7-10 page conversations with a person's higher self through automatic writing, and it's new for me. It's a new tool that I'm developing, and it's amazing. It's not something I ever set out to do, but it's happening. So, all right. So Saint Germain popped out of the Ascension deck, and it doesn't surprise me because I talk about magenta light all the time. I was talking about Saint Germain a few videos ago in the Ascended Master series. This is about transmutation. This is about us transmuting our pain. So I feel like if you are feeling some residual pain from like past happenings or anything that you might be coming to mind right now, might be coming to the surface for closure or whatnot, like this is really asking us to transmute, anything that you want to transform, any pain into purpose. I always say pain to purpose. If you took your pain and you put it into purpose, what would that look like? Maybe it's just that you're allowing yourself to go into your emotions and you write a letter. You don't send it, but you write a letter that expresses your emotions. And in that way, you have just taken your pain and you've channeled it into a form of expression. That's what I'm talking about. It could be taking, heartache or pain or any heaviness or resentment or anything that you're feeling and channeling it into something that motivates you or inspires you or your creative projects, okay? And they're saying use Saint Germain's help, call him in, use the violet flame, the violet light. They're saying your pure intention and focus can co-create with his energy to make miracles happen. He's helping us with the manifestation as well. Use that violet flame and the magenta light. He's a great alchemist and magician. He transforms that which no longer serves into something beautiful and light. And I feel like that's exactly what we are all in the process of right at this moment. Masculine and feminine, we are doing that. We're saying, masculine's looking at the ways that he's been and going, I can't be that way anymore. And I want to create something more beautiful. And feminine saying, I can't, I got to leave what no longer serves me. And I've got to, transmute this pain into purpose and create this new landscape. And, it's really happening for everyone, this huge opportunity to anchor in the love, the everything that we desire. So put it to use. I know sometimes when you feel down or yucky, you might say, well, I'm not inspired to transmute. But I really think if you kind of just push yourself into the pain, using the pain as the portal, then you'll get the inspiration. Then it will come. It's more when we think, like, it's not like this. It's not like you're going to be in a moment of sadness or thinking about the past and you're going to go, oh, I'm going to go, you know what? I'm weeping, crying, and sad. And all of a sudden you're going to go, I'm going to go paint my next, artwork or piece of art or whatever, my next masterpiece. No, probably not. But you could say, I'm crying, I'm weepy, like, I don't know what to do, I don't know how I feel, like, I'm just going to go slap some paint on the canvas and just get my emotions out. That's more like it. It might be like me. You guys know I've been writing manuscript, and I have been held back from that too. I have spent, like, really the past 2 months, like, barely working on it because I have needed to do this processing too. So my writing has been different. It hasn't been writing towards the goal. It's been writing out my emotions. So it's been like going into the pain and writing out the emotions and writing out, and doing the channeled messages and doing the automatic writing. And it's been something different, but still I'm transmuting. And so it doesn't necessarily have to be some formalized goal or masterpiece or, they're saying go through the pain, use the pain as the portal for the purpose. Okay. I think sometimes we avoid doing that because in that we're forced to express the pain or express our emotion. And that's a really healthy way of transmuting. The other card that came out of the Ascension deck is animals. And I love that because obviously I was just talking about the animal symbolism. And this is reminding us that animals are heart-centered and they're designed to have experiences that are different from ours. I will also say that animals are always teaching us. So it could be at this time that your animals or your pets have lessons for you that they're trying to teach or show you something. I do animal communication too. And, one thing I found is like your pet, your animal will they'll either mirror a behavior that you're having, or they'll mirror something that's going on with you, or they'll start behaving badly, or there'll be something that draws you to their behavior because there's an imbalance with you and they're trying to teach you how to harness like an aspect of your power or how to love yourself. There's always it's basically like we have the 5 core wounds. They're always teaching us like these 5 lessons. They're always working with us in this way. So you might want to ask yourself, like, how are the animals that you're seeing, like the symbolism, the blue butterflies, what is that trying to teach you right now? As connected to your heart space, what needs to be healed, and how can you work with the animals on that? Or it could mean like your pets and like the animals that you see on a daily basis, like what are they reflecting for you, and how can you work with what they're showing you to uncover, what they're trying to teach you and help you with. This is to call on Archangel, I don't even know how to say this, Phele, angel of animals, to look after them. Archangel Michael to protect them, and the unicorns to enlighten them. So this is about honoring and respecting all animals, and also seeing how connected we are to the animal kingdom, and through the symbolism, the synchronicities, and what our pets and animals are teaching us. All right, let's get some. In the bottom of that deck is the gold and silver violet flame in reverse. Wow, big surprise. This is like Saint Germain. So again, transmutation. So you guys can use those colors, gold, silver, magenta, violet. And I mention all those colors when you're going through the tunnel in the meditation, in the 5D meditation. I actually call in all those colors. So This is being mentioned for a reason. This is about allowing transformation to happen and raising the frequency when you're holding lower frequency energies. Like, it's about making that shift through transmuting. So, says when you send the gold and silver violet flame to people, situations, and places, you facilitate wondrous transformation. The powerful light transmutes the old and raises everything to a very high frequency. Love it. All right, Christina Georgieva's little deck here. Let's see what wisdom it has for us. You guys can purchase this on lilwanderer.com. I love this deck because it fits my tiny little hand. And because the messages are great. Okay, so commitment's coming up in reverse. Okay, and I feel like this is a time to be committed to yourself, to be loyal to yourself, to your process, to your journey, to your future. It's not the time to be thinking of commitment with the other necessarily. That's going to come, okay? That's coming. This is still about the dedication to yourself and your process of awakening and consciousness, and being totally devoted to yourself. I can't speak. Will bring in the loyalty and commitment and the dependable partner and the way you want the commitment to show up for you. And I do feel like this is on the horizon through the unions that we're going to be seeing in like August, September, and after the eclipses in July. And we will be seeing more deeper levels of commitment, masculine ready to reach a deeper level of commitment. I talked about that in my last video. More permanence, more long-term partners, long-term work situations, long-term. This is not like we're going to shift into more permanent type situations that have lasting energy. And this is going to be really amazing for some of you. So it's saying explore, and it came up in reverse as well. So explore. And I feel like that's also the commitment to yourself and, you know, doing something out of the norm. I've been talking about how the synchronicities are going to find us and how we're going to have doors opening and opportunities and chance meetings and things showing up unexpectedly. And I feel like that happens through a sense of wonder and, you know, whether it's adventure or craving for a new experience or venturing out of your comfort zone. You do have to venture out of your comfort zone in order to connect with your soul tribe, I feel. Don't forget about my retreat also. Some of you are signing up. I'm so excited. But don't forget to sign up for the retreat because it will fill up. Once people start signing up, it's going to go quick. And there's only limited spots. So if anyone wants to do that, or maybe you're thinking about taking a different trip or a different retreat. I know I just planned a little 2-day getaway with a girlfriend of mine, or you know, or like I'm going to a festival with another girlfriend, and it's really, really fun. And to have those things on the calendar when you know you're doing things that, you know, venturing out of your norm, venturing out of your comfort zone, venturing out of your normal routine. This is how a lot of new people and opportunities are going to open up for us. Plus, we get to rediscover ourselves and what we love to do. And I feel like that is changing. Like what you love to do and the people that you want to be around, the environments that you want to be in, it's changing. Like it's been changing. And you might need to have a check-in with yourself to find out what's still enjoyable and what's not. Okay. Let's do one more card here. So communication and completion just popped out. And this is a huge confirmation that we are needing that closure. That's that completion. This is the closing up the old timelines. This is like unfinished business coming to a close. And this is the communication that's happening. For some of you, it will happen in the 3D. It might happen in the 3D. And for others of you, it will happen at a more spiritual level. So this is about bringing things to completion, finding a sense of peace with it, understanding what your role has been in the past, and perhaps even having a conversation. Perhaps it's you're writing a letter to find the completion or find the closure. But that in any way you are expressing. You're expressing from a 5D level. You're expressing through writing or you're expressing through literal physical communication. But I do feel this happening with twin flames, and that's what I was speaking of. So it's perfect confirmation of that. And then the bottom of this deck is independence. So it's funny that we started out with commitment in reverse, and then we have independence in reverse. So there could be a little bit of a struggle here, a duality here, where we're not quite here ready for commitment with someone else, we're ready for the union. We're still working on our own self-reliance and working on those things. And maybe that's why also I'm feeling like there might be a touch-in with a twin flame to have some communication, put closure on a chapter, but it might not be time for union just yet. Okay. Okay then. So it's time to focus on our projects, and this is like really heavily emphasized right now because we have this rainbow energy coming in, which magic is possible, anything is possible, anything can come to fruition. And they're saying it's, you know, it's going to be prosperous if you focus on your projects right now and your goals and the things that you want to achieve. Like, it's going to come through, it's going to manifest, it's going to crystallize for you. And I feel it being lucrative, and this is about, I think both masculine and feminine are working on this in some way. So that's really positive. They're saying also recommit to that aspect of your life. Recommit to your projects. You might need to recommit to it. And then you're going to see the rewards of it quite quickly, I feel. Oh, we got a whole bunch popping out. So we just had clean it up and building blocks. So, you know, we saw the building blocks at the end of the June forecast, and we are building the new landscape, but it's not brick by brick. It's more like you're manifesting from up here, you know, and it's going like, what did I say? Thought, form, right? Thought, form. And it's not heavy lifting. It's a different type of a manifestation energy. And I think some of you are having to acclimate to that. I think it's also about looking at what you want to build, thinking about what you want to build. Masculine's definitely doing this. He's definitely thinking about what he wants to build here, now, in the future, and will be taking action towards it. Some of you need to clean up your vibration, though, because you have contradictory desires, and you might be doubting things. You might be doing that whole negative thinking or doubting, and really, like I said, you might be in the past and in the future at the same time and not realizing it. And it's either keeping you stuck or it's mucking up that energy or blocking it from flowing, right? I did this diagram for a client today, and I said, when you're stuck in the past, you've got like a roadblock here. And so the future can't open up, you know, it can't open. You can't get to it. And you might see it, but you're kind of stuck back here. So you want to get it so like the energy is just flowing, right? And so you've got to unblock that, whatever that is for you. And we'll just pull one more. Peace. And this is like finding your peace within you. I think it's also when I said this completion, we're talking about closure. I think that was, if you rewind, those were the words that came out of my mouth. And I thought it was interesting that it came out of my mouth because I don't say peace that much, but this was about finding your peace and making peace with the past. And I do feel like that peace, finding that contentment in the now and letting that go, whatever's, you know, ailed you or troubled you or has weighed on you or you've brought forth into the present. When you let that go and you find that peace, you have a new egg here ready to hatch. And that is all these new things that are about to come into your life. So don't block the magic. Be aware of your thoughts. Clean up the vibration. Use this gold and silver violet flame, the magenta energy, Saint Germain for your transmuting. Did you guys know about, you know, closure communication? A lot of that communication is coming through at a 5D level, higher level, spiritual level. Could be 3D for some. Stay unattached. Keep focusing on you, and beautiful magic can happen. All right. So I'm gonna leave you with that. Love you guys. And if you want to check out my website, services, or the retreat, go to spiritualmaterialgolf.com. Love you. Mwah. Have a great week. Bye.